This is Frank Skinner. This is
Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. I am with Emily Dean and Pierre Novellie. You can text the show on 81215, follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at Frank on the Radio, email the show via frank@absoluteradio.co.uk. Guten Morgen.
Guten Morgen.
Morgan.
So, yeah, it's going to be hot, apparently. A lot of people have been mentioning it.
Oh.
Mentioning it with, I would say, not mild threat, but threat. Genuine, we're not going to get through this, guys, kind of stuff.
No. I thought you were going to start doing... Remember that DJ I heard once that I told you about? Who was going on about how hot it was and started saying, yeah, it's hot one out there today. A lot of wasps. Wasps, I ate them.
Okay.
That was it.
Yeah.
That was his link. What do you think?
I think it's... it reminds me of a DJ who I won't name saying, I went down to Tate Gallery this week, take a look at that Turner Prize art. What's it all about, eh? Lady. But hey, we should. It's a job where one, as you will see in the next 3 hours, can make a damn fool of oneself.
Yes.
So there you go. I'll tell you what I did this week.
Yeah.
I did some gigs.
Mm-hmm.
Did you?
And the last gig I did was Saturday night.
Yeah.
And it's been a good week. A good, productive week of warm-hearted bank holiday crowds. Well, they weren't bank holiday, but they were warm-hearted. And I was very pleased. It was the last night. The show had gone well. Mm-hmm. I rounded it off, and there was a guy said, speak to women.
Oh.
And I thought...
Well, you didn't have any problems with that in your younger days.
No, I don't. We didn't speak that much.
Oh, Frank.
But
It's disgusting.
I said,
I'm sorry.
what? And he said, speak to women. He said, I've noticed everyone you've spoken to tonight in the crowd has been a man. He said, you spoke to him, you spoke to him. And two women said, no, he spoke to me. And he spoke, I think he was a...
Did he say, shut up, love? No
Yeah,
one asked
exactly.
you.
Who asked you?
Go home and wash the dishes.
But it was, I think he got me marked down as a male chauvinist pig.
Was he wearing a set of white armour? This guy?
But it was...
I like that he felt he had to speak for the women.
Yeah, well,
Yes.
I did point that out.
Yes.
And then he said, I said something, and he said, look, I love you, Frank, but speak to women. And I thought, it had that element of, I'm warning you in peace and love. I didn't want him to love me, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've got a pool of people who love me, and I don't want it poisoned by this bloke loving me. And it just, for me, it ruined the whole week.
Yes.
Yeah.
How did you sort of bring the right energy back?
Well, it was right at the end of
Yeah.
the show.
Oh, yes.
So I had a couple of digs at him, which always gets, like a applause, but it's still...
And he's ambushed you there.
Yes, yeah, right at the end. And, I mean, it's good. It's good to have, someone on your shoulder pointing out your failings. But I don't keep a checklist of the genders I speak to.
No.
Look, I celebrate woke politics, but there's a lot to remember, isn't there? Such a lot to remember.
This guy as well, I like that I love you, but as if the withdrawal of his love is a sufficient threat to get you to modify your behaviour.
Oh, but it was, I brazened it out. But when I got back, I thought that's really spoilt it for me now. When I think of this club, I think of that bloke. That terrible bloke, I'll think of.
Did you tell Kath about it when you got there?
No, I haven't. In fact, you're the first people I've told.
Well, you better start talking to her. You take that man's advice. Speak to women.
I spoke to you, didn't I? Yeah, I just got the lads around and we had a bit of a talk. We got naked, covered ourselves in body paint, ate raw meat in the garden, and I told them about it.
They said it was fine.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Rachel has got in touch.
Oh, yes.
Loved seeing the very wonderful Pierre Novellie in Canterbury last night. Hopefully he got his train, as I've never seen a performer get out of the door so quickly.
I trap pretty fast, as they say in the greyhound community.
Well,
Yeah.
can see why he and Frank on the radio love touring together. A match made in absolute heaven.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolute Heaven, by the way, is my new religious channel that I'm doing for Absolute.
Don't laugh, it's going to happen. I think Rachel might have been to see you
Oh.
and realises you like a speedy exit too.
Yes, I don't like to linger. Once I've got my Doctor Who dolls from my admirers, I'm out of there.
I've seen it.
What?
I've
What, my quick exit? Yes.
Oh,
it's,
yeah.
I would also like to share this with some of our readers. It's been sent directly to us, but this needs to be shared with the world because Iona Faz, who's one of our regulars,
Iona Faz as well.
she's just one.
It's a size too small for me, but I do wear it sometimes on Middle Eastern themed nights.
Yes. She sent us a lovely picture. Niche birthday presents last week. My mum told me there was a visitor coming to my birthday party and walked round the corner with this life-sized cutout. Do you know who the cutout's of?
I'm going to guess Paul Collier, the former daytime TV presenter.
Pierre, do you want to throw your hat in the ring?
Emperor Hirohito.
Incorrect.
Okay.
Both of you. It is a Frank Skinner.
Really?
Yes.
Goodness. That's...
You're
that
wearing a
must have been
tuxedo.
letter. Oh, right.
You look absolutely not bad at all.
Thanks very much. That's like Cad saying when I had my ascot gear in, some women would find that attractive. What else? Oh, yes. You know the whole British sitcom tradition of people having a drink of tea and then something shocking being said and then going... I came as close as I've ever seen to that actually happening this week. I was in Starbucks doing an interview with the Manchester Guardian, which I think they call the Guardian nowadays.
Yes.
And I was with my publicist, Lucy. Now, publicists sit in.
Relatable.
They sit in on these interviews because they don't want you to, you've got to keep an eye on what you're saying.
Yeah.
And can I just say, she's a good publicist.
Yes. So anyway, she went up to get some tea or coffee or whatever people drink nowadays, and she went up to get to the can. So she missed a small section of the interview. Anyway, we came back and blah blah blah. And at the end of the interview, the guy said, "Well, I have to say thank you for being so honest." And she actually did one of those. And I was a bit anxious. It's not what you want to... I think my guard... age means I no longer keep up my guard in these things.
Oh.
You don't want to see their eyes widen as they say that.
No.
Wow.
No.
Thank you for divulging
It was a
that.
bit like that. I don't know. I think I might have overshared.
Oh, what did you say?
Oh, I just not even think about it.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Ruth Jordan, sorry to interrupt.
No,
Frank,
do
but
interrupt.
Just this is hot off the press from Ruth Jordan, one of our regulars. Morning, Ruth. She's very interested to know about your interview. Was it with the Manchester Guardian?
Yeah, well, it's the Guardian they call it now, I think.
Re Frank's oversharing interview. I'm liking this as a thread. Did he share the picture of the Tipton Slashers monkey with the interviewer? That's my guess. I can't wait to pick up the Guardian in a few days' time and find that pic on the front page.
Look, we've all got our boundaries. I've been forbidden by my partner to share the Tipton Slashers monkey.
Yes.
Do you know about this, Pierre?
I do, yeah. I listened in rapt horror, and I did attempt myself to try and find
Do you want to quickly
show you
recap,
after.
Frank, just for any of our listeners? Just we don't want to. They might think, what the hell is the Tipton Slashers monkey? Briefly explain.
I was at the Black Country Living Museum, which is fabulous, and I'd recommend it. And the Tipton Slasher was a local bare knuckle fighter, Bill Perry, and he had a pet monkey that he would occasionally spar with as for hijinks.
Why are you saying this like it's the most normal thing in the world?
Yeah. So anyway, he there was an accident during their sparring. Bill had a bit of a tantrum, hit the monkey a bit harder than he normally did in his playful manner, knocked it down some stone stairs, and sadly, it didn't make it.
Yeah.
Our thoughts are with its family. But then Bill, in terrible remorse, had it stuffed. And it's not on display at the Black Country Living Museum. It's on a shelf in a room. And I asked if I could see it because I knew of its existence. And they took me and took the tissue off it. And
Pierre, you don't even want to know.
I don't know if he went top dollar when he went to the taxidermist list.
Interesting you say he got it stuffed in regret. I think
I said remorse.
Remorse, yes, that's different. But
no, it's a gay club in Dudley. It'd be a great name.
I'd have enjoyed if he got it stuffed with one of those sort of wibble things where he could still punch it and it would come back up.
Oh yeah.
God.
Oh no! If you saw it, you could see it wouldn't take a good punch.
No.
If the producer passes me my fan, the producer is currently stitching my jacket.
Yes.
Which has got a hole in it. Can you believe that?
It's an old-fashioned show.
It is.
I walked in this morning. It was like 1952.
Yes. So when I hired Sarah, I'd say, and how's your seamstress skills?
Although I really can't talk because
you
women
can, Emily, you can
speak to women. I really can't talk because
what again?
Do you remember? I have been known to help out with your undergarments. Do you remember that in Edinburgh when we shared a flat?
Can I tell you my undergarments?
I put them in the washing machine.
You did.
I didn't actually.
Emily washed my pants.
And I liked it.
Yeah. Can I tell you, someone sent me some... last week I had an early Christmas gift and they sent me some pants. That's only when I got home I realised I did a thing about Calvin Classics on the show, which are pretend Calvin Klein low-budget pants.
Right.
And today, what they sent me was another example, like... Southern Fried Chicken, those versions of KFC that aren't
Dixie
KFC.
Fried Chicken.
Well, this is like Calvin Klein's less successful nephew made some pants. It's a bit like that. But I'll show you. Shall I show you on air? Have I got time to show my...
What are you doing?
I'm just going to pull the waistband
I don't want you to pull the waistband.
A wedgie.
Here it comes. Here it comes. Can you see that?
It's all happening, guys.
Can you read that?
Calvin Klein.
It says. I think we might have to show the reason.
Glaine Klein. It's the name.
Klein.
Yeah, but I'll put a photo up and you'll get.
I feel like I'm back in Australia again. Glaine Klein.
I was going to say Calvin Klein sounds like my aunt to say.
You mongrel.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
So I'll tell you what I did this week. I took on the big green egg.
Oh.
Are you familiar with the big green egg?
No.
It's a sort of Le Grand Earth Vert, as I like to call it. It's a state-of-the-art barbecue.
Yeah.
Do you know, I am familiar with it.
Yes.
Yes, I believe Deck has one.
Deck?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I can't tell you how I know that, but I just do.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's good to know. It's not a dissimilar shape to Fat Man, is he called? The nuclear bomb.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, that's its name. I don't want to fat shame weaponry.
No.
I think that is its... Also, it's called Mark III, isn't it?
Is it?
I think so, yeah. I went to the museum in Los Alamos. Okay.
So, why did you encounter the green
Can I ask you a
egg?
question, Mark,
Sure.
on the Mark III topic? Has anyone, do we know of, who's ever had several boys and called them Mark 1, Mark 2? That'd be perfect, wouldn't it?
Why aren't people doing that all the time?
That would be great.
That would be good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mark's really gone out of vogue. I think we need to bring it back.
If you're about to begin a family, exclusively male family,
Mark 1.
then yeah, you've got to go Mark 1, Mark 2, Mark 3. That's...
Oh, yes. Oh, it's a great idea.
Anyway, it's my sister-in-law and brother-in-law have one, and we went to their place, and they basically said, "You're flying the big green egg."
All right.
And
something every man dreams of hearing.
yes,
Yes.
it's a smoker. That's the first thing I'd say about it.
Is it?
It really is a smoker. It's like being at a Bob Marley gig. It was like thick white smoke enveloping me. But there's something about, isn't that, barbecuing, that if you get it right, people are really grateful. People often aren't that grateful in life, but if you get a barbecue right, just for a couple of hours, you're the man.
Yeah.
Or woman. Yeah.
Barbecue for women, Frank.
Oh, yeah. Exactly. I did barbecue for women.
There you go.
I know what you mean. I do have, just for the period whilst the person of either gender is stood over the barbecue, I sort of have so much respect for them.
Because it says on it was one of those, when you start doing something and then within 10 minutes you're looking at YouTube for how-to videos. It was a bit like that. But it says with Le Grand Earth Verte, it's possible to get the heat to 1 degree of accuracy. So you can say, I think I'll have it at 204 degrees. You open a slight door, turn a vent slightly, and it just moves.
It has a very powerful reputation.
It's become a real object of desire, the green egg.
Can you get e-barbecues?
E-barbecue, online only barbecue.
No, I mean, but do you remember when vapes were called e-cigarettes? Because I was thinking, when this smoke is probably not good for the atmosphere.
An electric oven, you mean?
What I want is an e-barbecue.
An ex-boyfriend of mine I recently discovered became an e-cigarette millionaire.
They don't call them e-cigarettes anymore.
But that's what I like. I think
it's
he
a
became
shame. I love that term.
wealthy from them when they were still e-cigarettes.
You know, when you do a joke and you think of a joke and you think, I can't wait to do this. This is going to be my signature joke that's told all around the world. It's such a brilliant joke. And whenever you think that, when you tell it always gets nothing. And mine was that, I'm a sort of a laid-back, bitter-sweet kind of a guy. In fact, I actually smoke an E minor cigarette. Got nothing. I mean, nothing. I tried it about 3 times. It got less than nothing eventually. I had to drop it. It's a shame.
Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
012. Hi, Frank and team. Correct heat is only one of the important success criteria. I love criteria in a bit of correspondence. In BBQing.
Is it?
I find there is the sweet spot when it comes to the optimum level of cold beer. Too much leads to overdone and burnt, too little, and the food is missing the party life.
What I don't want, though, is I don't want barbecued sausages, for example, to look like they've come out of a standard oven.
No.
I want them to have some scarring.
You want some lines on there?
I want
them to be only identifiable by dental records. I don't want to know anything about
Well,
them.
mine would... I go for carbon dating would be the best bet. But no, I want them to look like we're backwoodsmen.
Yes. I like the phrasing, too little and the food is missing the party life.
Yes.
That's sort of what it sounds like when a Swedish person speaks to you. I think they're almost perfect English.
It sounds a bit also like Serena Wiegman, the England coach, says she talks about we don't want to get, instead of, we don't want to get carried away with ourselves. She says we don't want to live on the pink cloud.
Is that what she said?
Which I rather like.
I like that.
Apparently it's a Dutch, we don't want to live on the pink cloud.
I'll tell you what, I actually said last night completely unironically, I actually think it's coming home. Yeah, I said that to Kat. I said, honestly, I think it's coming home.
Cross the women who have to get on with it.
Yeah, turn right. Tortoise and the hair.
Yeah.
No, it's...
Anna Banana wants to know...
Yeah.
Did you cook ham on your green egg?
Oh,
okay.
That's very good. Would I like it in a box? Would I like it with a fox? Would I like it in a car? Would I like it in a bra? I'm making them up now.
That's good.
I've got a confession to make. I never really liked Dr. Seuss as a child.
Oh.
I found it a bit silly. I just found I was a bit sort of logical. I didn't like things...
Did you like it in a fox or in a box?
The trouble is, you know so many people that until you said I found it a bit silly, and you said I didn't like Dr. Seuss as a child, I thought there's a high chance here she means the actual bloke.
She met. Yeah, exactly. Yes, I found him
very dull man.
I found him a bit hoity-toity.
I once had to make a speech at his wedding. And,
if I met Dr. Seuss and he spoke in something resembling non-rhyme, I'd be really disappointed. Yeah. I found after I read Dr. Seuss to my kid, I'd be thinking in rhyme for about an hour afterwards, sort of afterburn of his incessant rhyming.
You'd also
want... You sound like Chaz Day. Did you go up and say, your incessant rhyming, why don't you give it a rest?
That was the letter I wrote to Dr. Seuss. You've got more rhyming than... Shelley, Wordsworth and the rest. Yes.
You'd want Dr. Seuss to sort of pull up in a kind of mad fantasy car with all pipes and wheels.
You know what?
And...
I wouldn't want Dr. Seuss to pull up at all. I find there's something a bit bleak about those books. They're
great. I like the feel of them on my lips. Just saying all that stuff.
And I found the top hat and everyone seemed a bit mean in them.
Oh, no, but at the end, when the whole thing of rejecting stuff that you've never even tried.
Now I love it.
Yeah, I think that's an important lesson to learn. Yep. Try it before you reject it. And I've used that in a few hotel rooms
for God's
over the years.
Frank.
With rhyme and without.
Oh. This is Frank Skinner. This is
Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Pierre Novellie is with us this morning. You can text the show on 81215. Follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at Frank on the Radio. Email the show via frank@absoluteradio.co.uk.
Can I ask you something? I will. I came across something. I'm reading a book at the moment, and I came across something. I'm not reading it. I'm listening to it.
Oh.
There is a distinction. And in it...
I've never heard you say in it before.
In it.
I'm reading a book in it.
I'm reading a book in it.
Yeah.
And there was a reference to the artist Cisco, the rapper. Are you familiar with him? Who sang Thong Song.
Oh,
yes. Said apparently, he sung the Thong Song at his wedding. He performed it.
Oh, nice.
And I thought, that's quite... Can you imagine? And I wanted to ask you two, would you, if it was an occasion such as that, would you perform stand-up? That question first to Frank Skinner.
Well, I think if it was your own wedding, I think every groom sort of performs a bit of stand-up.
No, but you wouldn't say ladies and gentlemen and then you're introduced and you're doing a bit.
No, I
like the Thong Song.
I wouldn't do that. I went to a friend's wedding and Elton John did the song and he had changed the lyrics of your song to fit the bride and groom.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Do you know that was a 350 grand well spent?
I think it was free.
Was it?
I know.
Oh, they would have been celebrities.
Don't tell anyone.
He did it for the exposure.
Yeah, and the speech. And so he did the music and the speech, one of the speeches was done by Boise. from Only Fools and Horses. So,
what an occasion.
Yeah, it was. It really was a very fine event. Something for everybody. It was lovely.
Oh, I love it. Would you do it, Pierre?
I'd rather boil my head. No.
Would you?
To do like sort of irrelevant sort of observational comedy on my own wedding day. To sort of put everyone through that.
Also, I just didn't feel Thong Song was very wedding-y.
No.
Thong, 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 thong. On my wedding
No, I
day.
remember it. That sounded like the Chris Eubank version.
There was him asking for the thong song, Chris Eubank.
Yes,
Right.
there is quite a lot of emphasis on underwear at weddings, aren't there? There's garters and
That's true.
Oh,
yeah.
and
like
all
all
that, and you
that.
have to wear something.
Oh, that's
Blue
all.
or
It's
something.
very Rosaire Clock, all that stuff. I'm not a fan.
What does that mean?
What does Rosaire Clock mean?
Yeah.
It's sort
Oh,
of...
Rosaire Clark, I
Yeah.
get it. I
You
thought you
get-
said Rosaire Clark. I thought she
No.
might be a famous
No,
wedding
Rosaire
organiser.
Clock. You know what I mean.
I think if you're a performer, insisting on doing some of your own performance at your own wedding has sort of, I would call them Gaddafi vibes. There's a level of mad narcissism there, I
Hearing
think.
that was one of my dad's girlfriends.
Gaddafi
I
with
spoke to a
Rosie
poli-
O'Clock.
Yeah.
I spoke to a politician who was at a big meeting with Gaddafi, and he said something, and they disagreed with him, and he went outside and sat on the stairs because he was really upset about it. Anyway,
Okay.
have we heard from Le Monde al Fresco?
We
have.
have indeed. Ruth Jordan gets in touch on
Ruth
Twitter.
Jordan again.
Yes.
She's
Regarding,
loyal, very loyal.
well, regarding your underwear pick.
Oh yeah.
And other things you don't want to be sent.
I put a picture of some.
Regarding.
What would we call them? Mock Calvin Klein
Yes.
pants that I was sent.
Snide, yeah.
Snide pants. Ruth says, Frank's expression in this pic makes it look like he's got lost in the street and is showing his waistband to strangers like some sort of medic alert bracelet, hoping it'll somehow help them get him back home
It's a
safely.
nice interpretation. Perhaps that's what I need, my name and address on my underpants waistband.
Yeah.
For when I start my wandering, can't be that far off.
Well, they did use that in Back to the Future. That was a
Yes.
joke, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That she thinks he's called Calvin.
I'm afraid
Because she sees
I'm
his
going to
pants.
be one of those people who says, oh, I've never, blah, blah.
Have you not?
I've never seen
Have you not
Back...
seen Back to the Future?
I haven't seen Back to the Future or any of its sequels.
That's right up your Strauss side of
I think you know, Frank, it's all your sort of thing.
That's
sort
what
of
they told me
silly
about
time
Donnie
travel.
Brasco.
No, but you love time travel and
Yeah.
things like that, sci-fi, silly things.
Yeah, well, I do love sci-fi silly things. I shall watch it one day, I suppose. But yes, it's a gap in my viewing.
It's a bit expensively made, though, I think, for you.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Frank revealed something off air. Did you reveal it off air? No, it was on air. I can't remember.
I'm
All
anxious
blows
about
and
what
stuff.
it is. What is it?
Well, I better not say, just in case.
Go on.
Did you reveal off air? No, it was on air, maybe, that you hadn't seen Back to the Future.
No, I haven't seen that. It was on
it
air,
on?
I think.
Oh, okay, good. Cav has got in touch.
Pagan Cav.
The only Cav I know is Kavanagh. Do you remember Kavanagh? Not
Yes.
QC. I mean
Yes.
Kavanagh the singer. I can make you feel good. Morning all. I was thinking Doctor Who fans are called Whovians. So are Doctor Zeus fans called Zeuvians? Zeusians. Then I
Maybe
thought-
Zoo. Oh, yeah, it's difficult.
Then I thought, what about other famous doctors like Kildare? Kildarians? Have I accidentally stumbled upon sci-fi writers' alien naming codex? I said that in the wrong name. Sci-fi writers' alien naming codex.
Javagans.
How about you,
Yeah.
Dr. Javago.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
Javagons.
The Javargons could be in Doctor Who.
Oh, yeah.
That's a Javargon ship. We better get out of here.
Doctor-
The sort of gloomy with a Russian accent.
What about Dr.
Aliens.
Quininios? Dr. Quinn medicine?
Yeah, all
man?
right. All right.
didn't like
That's
Queen,
the
yeah.
second week on the trot that Dr. Quinn medicine woman's been
Did
close.
Dr. Quinn get another mention?
Yeah.
When was that?
I said there isn't a show with the word quite in the title. And somebody said, Dr. Quite Medicine Woman. I mean.
Oh, okay. Those are the only doctors we've got.
I tell you what happened to me. I went to Glyndebourne this week.
You've changed.
Which is a sort of a big opera event where you picnic outside. And I picked up my friend Joan and drove down there. And when we arrived, she said, so where's your jacket and things? And I said, what do you mean? She said, well, it's evening dress. And although I have been before, I'd completely forgotten.
Oh, no.
So I had a short sleeve shirt on, no jacket.
No.
And also, I know, and the shirt. I hate people who go to black tie events not in black tie. I feel that it's them expressing their individuality, and if that's all they've got, stay home.
So what did you do, Frank?
Well, I asked a lady who worked there, sorry, I've made a major faux pas. Will I get in? Because it's quite a long drive for us down to Lewis. Lewis, as they call it. And also the shirt I wear, it's my Vietnamese shirt. In that it's got tigers on it, and around the tigers it says Saigon Sin Avengers clawing back the enemy.
Right.
And then on the pocket it says Pleiku Wildcats.
Okay.
This morning's texting 8:12:15. What's the strangest phrase you've got on a piece of clothing?
That's good.
You know when you buy clothing and they've got those things on? I mean, clawing back the enemy. What does that mean exactly? Does that mean bringing them back? You know, they've left.
We want them back.
Reconverting them.
I always have an issue with the random years that are utterly meaningless.
Yeah.
So 1983, Good Times, LA.
Yeah.
Why was that specifically Good Times?
Well, there's that company that's just called it just has 1970 on the thing, isn't it?
So clawing, what is it? Clawing back the years? Oh,
No, it's Saigon Sin Avengers clawing back the enemy. I imagine it's I thought it was some sort of baseball franchise, but do they claw back the enemy?
Do they avenge sin?
No. Almost never, in my experience. Now, hockey is a different story.
Frank Skinner on
Absolute Radio.
So, we were talking about my dress faux pas at Glyndebourne.
Yeah.
And it made me think of that. Did you see that story in the paper about, I can't remember what this guy's actual name is, but he's called, I know you saw it because during the music break I said, why don't we talk about that bloke who was in the paper? So I know you saw it, but this is like my professional...
Of course.
I don't know if you saw that story in the paper about a guy called Johnson. What was his real name?
Oh,
He's a very posh bloke.
Yes, we know not that Johnson.
No.
He's called...
His name isn't Johnson, is it? But that's his nickname.
No, his name is Lord John Somerset.
Okay.
And his nickname is Johnson.
Right.
But what I like a lot of lords or members of the aristocracy, they sort of have, it's like sometime music producer.
Yes.
It's like the one Kate Winslet's married to, is called Rock and Roller or something. They like to dabble in the music biz.
Well,
Yes.
I generally, one of my, if I was going to, I don't collect really anymore, but if I was going to collect anything now, I think it'd be posh people's jobs. I love this, 2 mornings a week as an art dealer.
Yes.
Well, not mornings, probably. Let's say afternoons.
Yeah.
That sort of not really jobs.
And then
but-
one morning a week land management.
Yep.
They go to Cirencester for that, don't they?
Yes.
It's
yes.
a bit like, and I could be completely wrong about this, but when the royals are in the military, I always think, are they though? Are they in the military? Really? Really?
The ones in line aren't, but then if you're the spare instead of the heir, I think they go, yeah, chuck him in.
Oh, is that okay? Yeah.
Seems to be the attitude.
Yeah. But yeah, so he's a record producer.
He likes to do a bit of Lord Swan.
I like jobs in inverted commas, basically.
Yeah. He's a rep for a champagne company or something. You go, right.
Yes.
His job is to drink it in public.
I tell you what they are sometimes, yes. Rep for a champagne company, or they're ambassadors often.
Yes.
For tequila
yes.
brands.
Yes.
Yep.
You get a cigar brand ambassador. Yeah. It's interesting this, because what happened to Johnson is he broke the dress code in Harrods.
So, I think you'll find it's called Top People's Store if you're reading The Sun.
Okay. I didn't know shops had dress codes.
Well, most shops don't.
No, I know that.
But this shop...
It would be very galling to be hustled out of the M&S food court
It would, yeah.
for breaking whatever dress code that would be.
Of course, at the other end, we have the only 2 school children at any one time rule.
Yes.
Greatest rule ever invented, that.
Mm-hmm.
It's so noisy. Noise in
They
the shop.
steal. They do steal. I mean, God bless them, they're the future, but they do steal. So, you can dress it up any way you like.
And to be fair, from Harrods, there's quite a profit margin
Oh,
there.
they don't go in Harrods, the school children. I shouldn't think they're allowed in with school uniform.
Well, it
Would
depends
they
on
be?
the uniform.
If it's got
Yeah.
a tie. If it's got a tie.
I think if it's...
You don't nip in Harrods for crisps on the way home, do you?
I think the rule is if your uniform involves knickerbockers,
Then you're all right.
come right in.
Yes.
Yes,
If you're dressed like a ghost.
yes. I think then you're fine.
Frank Skinner.
Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
So we were discussing Lord John Somerset.
Yes, who was apparently wearing, I think, was it ripped jeans and a paint splashed jacket or
Paint
something?
spattered.
Okay.
I think it was normal jeans. Ripped jeans is a different sinner.
Okay.
I
In the
think if it
Harrods
was
canon.
paint, we know it would have been oil paint from old Lord John.
Well, it sounds like one of those jackets that was bought with the paint on it, though. You know what I mean?
That was my question. Is this reckless farrow and ball usage, or is this an artistic decision?
Can I tell you what it is with these potions?
Mm-hmm.
And I do like the expression, the potions. Do you know where that originally comes from? Frank?
No.
It was from
It was from 7 Up.
a documentary called 7 Up, which I'm sure our readers will be familiar with. And they interviewed children from 7.
From 7 to 14 to 21, and
Yeah.
still ongoing.
Yes.
And I'd say he was one of the bigger characters
They're
in
my
it.
contemporaries as well. They're more or less exactly the same age as me, those guys.
And he was called Tony. He went on to become a cab driver, but as a child, this would have been in the 60s or whatever, 70s, and they interviewed him, and the very earnest sort of BBC interviewer says, "And what do you think of the upper class children?" And he says, "The potions, you just have to touch them." Which is his way of saying you can beat them in a fight quite easily. So ever since, I refer to them as the potions.
Yeah.
So the potions, I would say with the paint spattered jacket, it's sort of their thing, isn't it? It's battered suitcase. It's,
Well, not according to Harrods.
well, that's what I mean. I think Harrods have got it a bit wrong, bless them. They don't understand.
What it said in the report was that he was almost frog marched out of the building. Does that mean he was frog marched but not completely out of the building, just into the foyer? Or does it mean he was put outside the building but his arm was at a comfortable waist level?
Yes.
You wouldn't exactly call it frog marching.
They herded him like a sheepdog.
Well, he was in the technology department browsing speakers
Oh, yeah.
for his that chamber music.
Speaker's Corner, they call that bit.
I really hope, I do hope that he said, when he was apprehended by the security guards, please let him have said, "Now look here."
I hope so. But it says that he was almost frog marched.
Almost.
Out of the building, right. Now, he was on the 5th floor. if you if a posh bloke is frog marched down 5 flights, right, 5 stories down, you start off saying, "Now look here," and them telling you the dress code. By the time you're on the 2nd floor, you're talking about the Tory leadership race. You know what I mean? You're friends.
Yeah.
5 floors is a long way to be almost frog marched.
You're flagging by
Get in
by
the
bottom.
lift.
Yeah.
I suppose it'd be awkward if he was in the lift, if people got in and there was a man being almost frog marched. It's not what you expect in a Harrods lift. Oh dear, it was a debacle. That's what I'm suggesting. Frog march. I will come back to frog march.
Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
Don't show him that.
I'm listeners. This is my
Initiation.
It's going to go black if you don't look at it soon. That's how phones work.
War of the Worlds moment.
Okay.
I'm looking live now at the Tipton Slashers Bank here. Oh my God.
Yeah,
It's-
good lord. Exactly.
I'm not seeing that again. I don't ever want to see that again.
You see the tooth?
No,
I see the tooth. It's quite he's even in death a boxer's pose.
Yeah.
To an extent.
So,
Frank, briefly,
yes.
we will.
It is awful.
Yeah, it is awful, and he's got to stop showing it to people. I've told him. Frank, please stop showing it to people.
You should get it put on a shirt and go to the opera.
No, don't encourage
I
him.
thought
He's
I might
already showed
get
it
it
to
put
him.
on a stick.
Frank, just delete it off your phone.
Anyway,
A lot of people have got in touch, Frank. I say a lot, maybe 3. For example, Jane. Frank, did you get into the G event without a jacket? You left people hanging there a bit.
I did. The woman said, "Well, I like the tigers." Because there's tigers on that shirt, and they were. But people were looking at me, and I think that idea of I thought I didn't need to wear a dinner jacket.
Yeah.
I hate people thinking
You
that.
thought the cloak of celebrity would be enough.
Yeah, but I like an excuse to dress up.
I know.
You didn't want people looking at you thinking that you thought, time to shake up the world of opera.
Oh, exactly. I don't want to shake. I don't want to shake up Glyndebourne. I like it is the way it is.
Yeah, he thought it was a bit sort of like Paul Weller turning up in a leather jacket.
Yeah, I'll get my coolest shirt, the one with tigers on. That'll freak out those old farts.
So, Lord John Somerset,
Yes. Back to Lord Johnson.
Yes.
I said Johnson.
Johnson, who you were saying, because Pierre was talking about Viscounts off air, not the biscuits.
No.
But
Are they
the-
biscuits, Viscounts?
Yes,
I
I think
didn't
they
know
were.
that.
But there is a mnemonic for remembering the titles. It's Does My Lord Ever Visit Brighton Beach? Are you familiar with that?
No.
I think it's like
What's it
Duke,
remind you of? My Lord.
Does my Lord, no, my Lord.
Earl.
Yeah, Duke, Marquis, Earl, Lord, Baron, Baronet.
Handy.
Oh, very good.
Very handy.
If
Now
you
you
work,
say handy.
but you should teach it to the security at Harrods. Get them out of all of these binds.
Apparently, there's, according to the article I read, there's a bit of a history of people. I mean, some celebrities have been turned away for their clothing.
In what might be the most 90s story ever, Jason Donovan was turned away for wearing ripped jeans.
Oh, yeah. And he also, I've seen him out a very garish coat he wears sometimes.
His coat of many colours.
Yes. And
Do you think the
It had
security?
golden lining.
I think Luke Goss or Matt Goss was turned away. And they said they didn't recognise him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hence his song, When Will I Be Famous, open brackets, enough to get into Harrods. Close bracket. So it does happen at Harrods. People get,
Turfed out.
semi-frog marched.
Do you think the security have a sort of copy of Burke's Peerage to hand? So when you say, "My Lord Somerset," they go, "Well, we'll see." And
I
they
don't
flick
think-
Should have
through.
just
I
remembered
don't think. I think they do Burke's Peer. It's like the knowledge. They have to learn it. They walk around with it on small plastic see-through lecterns until they've learnt it.
They walk around Glyndebourne pointing. Yep.
That's
Duke
it.
of Beaufort.
Exactly. Royal Ascot. Royal Ascot. Marcus of Bath. Has to be memorised.
Frank Skinner on
Absolute
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Pierre Novellie. You can text the show on 81215, follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at Frank on the Radio, or alternatively email the show via frank@absoluteradio.co.uk.
Now then, you were talking about your shirt. Do you remember that, Frank? It was a shirt you'd ended up inadvertently wearing to
Glyndebourne.
a rather smart event. And if you could briefly remind us what it said on it.
It says...
Just roughly, a vague approximation.
No,
There's
I'll tell you
tigers.
exactly. It says Saigon Sin Avengers clawing back the enemy. And it also says Pleiku Wildcats.
Yeah.
OK. We've heard from John Jones.
What? The Martian Manhunter?
Morning, Frank. I heard you talk earlier in today's programme. You know, I like that. It makes it sound like we're doing proper radio. Like sort of Radio 4 or something. Heard you talk earlier in today's programme about a bowling shirt. He's saying it's a bowling shirt.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Based on the detail, this sounds like it could be an off-duty party shirt. He's put that in quotes. Made for the US forces.
Really?
These were popular, or a design based on this.
Yeah.
These were popular during the war. Usually the stitching is lazy machine stitch. I don't think he's having a go. I
No.
think that's just what it's called.
No.
Or hand sewn.
Yeah, he was good in Star Wars. Okay.
Would be interested to see that. Oh, so that's why he's got the pen.
I'll tell you what
Would
I'll
be
do.
interested to see some pictures as I'm studying this period for veteran groups. He would be a lovely friend for both of you. You
Yes.
like studying sort of periods in history.
Yes. I like studying and war.
Yeah.
Both things.
Frank,
I
you
don't.
need friends.
I like studying, I don't like war.
Oh, but you like some friends.
I don't mind very old wars. But when there's programmes about World War One and World War Two,
Roses?
I think, oh, no,
Roses?
not. Sorry?
Roses?
Oh, I'm fine with anything. I mean, English civil, I love.
Oh, yeah.
But
All of them.
Okay. You see, I've got to be honest.
I'll put a detail from the shirt up, and maybe
Yeah.
that can help. What was that?
It's John Jones.
John Jones, of course, Martian Manhunter.
The wildcat element, I did think when you were describing it, I thought this does sound a bit US military.
You thought it, and now someone said it. Suddenly, you thought it retrospectively.
I didn't want to out you as a pro-Southern Vietnamese government.
Well, I didn't.
I think you'll
I didn't
find
recognise it.
he was wearing his off-duty party shirt,
Yes.
and that's fine.
Well, yeah, I didn't know such things existed.
Well, I didn't know exactly that they had sort of formally approved military-issued party shirts.
No.
I mean, you know what? Buy your own party shirts. Don't party on my dollar.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, that's
Good
what
day.
I always say. I was listening to Rockin' All Over the World recently, and it really sounds like there's a car alarm going off in the background.
Really?
It's an organ, I think, but every now and again it goes all the way through it. Yeah, maybe there was one.
Are you
Maybe
sure
they-
about this?
Maybe they were breaking into a shop as they recorded it.
Why were you listening
Am I
to
sure
this?
about it? Yes. What do you mean?
Well, you
What?
weren't having some sort of medical incident while you were rocking all over the
you
world.
You listen to Rocking All Over the World and you'll say, you know what?
Were
He's right.
Was this to do with a Live Aid documentary or something? Because that's normally the only context. I'm not going to lie that I hear that song is in association with Live Aid.
I think I was listening to one of our Decade channels and
Oh.
it came on that.
Okay.
Okay, I'm quite absolute loyal in lots of ways.
I am too. I like absolute 80s. but
When I say absolute, I mean the whole Bauer family. You know, Magic at the Musicals, that's one of ours, isn't it, sir? Yes. And absolute classic country now. With I can get my, Johnny Cash, Glenn Campbell, Dolly Parton fix. Just saying.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
I'd quite like to know what Novellie has been up to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah? Do you think that'll take off that little song I've done, Frank? Or do you, honestly, as a friend,
Yeah.
be completely honest, do you like that?
I quite like it. I think Pierre should come on stage.
I enjoyed it.
Can I ask you, Pierre, by the way, do you still wear the velvet jacket on stage?
I do.
Because I have gigs this week, including Monday and Tuesday, which are the days from hell, they're being told by the news. Red alert. I've got red alert gigs.
Yeah.
I was wondering if, for the first time in my life, I might wear shorts on stage. Do you think that is acceptable?
I think it is acceptable.
I mean, I'm an old man, Commander.
But I think it's acceptable. But I will say, I notice a tremendous drop-off in my authority when audiences can see my knees.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why that is. I did a gig in shorts
Didn't
for
stop
some
you this
students.
morning, love.
No. But I don't want authority in this room. I want to be free, gloriously
you won't
free.
get it. Don't worry.
That's like I'm a prisoner.
Not on my watch.
Not here.
Yeah, but you've got a muscular leg. I've got like an old veined,
What on earth is going on here?
knotted rope leg.
I think any leg is a distraction to the crowd.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's
Glimpse
true.
of stocking.
Yes.
How are you done? Can I leap in here?
Yes.
Great. What are the shorts like?
It's not the shorts.
It
that's
is.
the problem.
It is.
I don't think it is.
What are the style, please? Are they Bermuda? Are they
They're paramilitary.
what to go with your military
Yeah,
posse
yeah,
shirt?
covered in
What the hell
tigers.
is going
Yeah,
on?
they are. Yeah.
Did you whimsically buy a 309th Parachute Brigade embroidered pair of
Why
shorts?
is everything military? Are you
Yeah,
got sort of
I
combat?
shop at the Army and Navy quite a lot. Do they still exist, Army and Navy stores?
Yes.
Have you
yeah.
only
I
got
only,
some
I only used to
surplus?
use them for webbing.
You got a big rucksack.
I bought some webbing from the Army and Navy store, stapled it to the back of an armchair in my house so I can pretend I'm on an aeroplane.
You're
I
going to
put
have a sort of
magazines and stuff in it, in the webbing.
GI crew. Are you going to have a
idea.
crew cut, Frank?
Yeah.
Pardon?
You're going to have a crew cut.
I am going to have a crew cut shortly. Actually, I like a short back and sides. Short back and sides, sir? No, not me, mate. Never had a cut since the age of 4. Keeps away the breeze when it's hanging on my knees. I'll never have a cut, no more, no more. Never have a cut, no more. So,
I just need to know one other thing.
go on.
If you're going to wear these shorts, military shorts or whatever, dog tags? No, it's too much.
Not dog tags. no.
What's the shoe situation?
Was that the nickname of one of the Three Musketeers?
Musky Hounds, that was.
Okay.
What is the shoe situation? Because trust me, this matters.
I was thinking just trainer.
Were you?
Yeah.
Were you indeed?
I mean, I'm going to wear socks. I'm not a hipster. It's just that I'm going to be on stage and it's going to be 40 degrees.
Yeah.
You've actually not got a bad leg.
Reminds me of the Punjab. I mean, I'm going to be, I'll be wearing my red tunic buttoned to the
Fully.
throat and enjoying high tiffin.
Pouring sweat like a guardsman.
Exactly. No, it's dangerous. I mean, I'm an old man. I could die up there again. Oh, man. Any advice? But yeah, I'm at the Phoenix Club in Soho. Do you know it?
Yes. Yes.
Does
very
it look
nice.
like a place that's well ventilated?
It's a basement, so it'll be cooler.
Just whatever you do, however tempting it is in these temperatures, don't go blouson.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
We're talking about things on T-shirts. Ben, my wife has a T-shirt that says H2O, just breathe.
That's good.
I really don't like it.
I like a gibberish T-shirt. I have a few myself.
Yeah,
Sort
what
of-
have you got?
I've got a couple that sort of say things like Camp Winnebago 1974
Yes.
softball team. And you
Yeah,
think,
all
"Wow,
that.
Yes, yes.
mad. Who's
All
printing that?"
stuff. Why bother with that?
It's
Put something
baffling.
good on.
Very strange. In fact, I recently bought a T-shirt from a popular online retailer for fast arrival because I bought a T-shirt plain black with the classic Batman logo on.
Can you see it?
Can I see it?
Can you see the classic Batman
Oh, with
logo?
the yellow, I mean. The yellow.
Oh, it's okay.
As
Because
opposed
the
to-
original one was black on grey, and then he went
Yes, that's true.
60s. He went black on yellow.
That's true, yes. So, yeah, black
So
and
black
yellow.
on yellow on black is what you've got. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. Because my nephew turned 4, and it was to be a superhero-themed party.
Okay.
And he requested, imperially, as 4-year-olds do, that everyone show up in costume. And I thought, well, I can do a Batman T-shirt. I'll be one of Batman's helpers, you know.
I'd have sprayed you green if you'd have asked me. You were born for hulking.
Stop offering.
And I could have frayed your jeans.
Yeah.
And loosened the belt.
Would you have actually cut the serrated edge jeans a la Flintstones?
I'm great at serrating.
So that was it. You just wore a Batman T-shirt.
Well, you see, all the kids were coming in costume, and so I thought I'll fade into the background. And
not in those shorts, dear.
No, well. God, I thought it's too hot for a full.
I think you should have worn the full thing.
Well, Batman showed up. The party.
Did he?
Yeah, and it was a very hot day.
Yeah.
To be clad in black foam.
Yeah.
Did he have the full thing on?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, did he have the foam muscles?
Yeah.
I hate that.
What does the real Batman do when it's that hot?
Well, that's what I thought.
You know what? Those plastic belts. I mean, I'm just saying, he's wearing full plastic. I want to keep away from him.
Oof.
Well, yeah.
He's got the right guard on.
Well, that bulletproof armour. That's got to be very. That draws you a bit.
It's quite odorous.
Well, I was thinking because I thought, what's wrong with this picture? As I saw Batman sort of knackered, in an open playing field.
Was he having a lie down?
I hope so, or he was dead. But I sort of thought, why does this look weird? And I realised, obviously, Batman comes out at night.
Yeah,
it's very odd to see Batman in blazing sunshine. And then I did think, is it canonical that Batman fights less crime in the summer? Because there's just less time.
Yeah, but he does fight crime in daylight in the comics. The films have got this thing that it has to be dark. I mean dark, physically dark, but also Batman has to be morose and upset and all that. Even in Batman Lego Movie, he's quite grumpy.
Yes.
But I've spoken here before that my mother made me a very good Batman outfit, and my cousin David, his mum made him a Robin outfit. And we used to go around in these, and we'd play football as Batman and Robin, and also just sit around on the swings and stuff at the park, like Batman and Robin having a day off. Not sure what to do with themselves.
Low crime day.
Exactly. Batman and Robin at leisure would be a lovely film.
Coffee table book.
Just having a coffee, having a chat, catching up.
When you were playing football as Batman and Robin, presumably Robin providing the assist.
Yeah, well, the kids always sort of felt that we had to be on the same side as Batman and Robin. And it's not like there was a Joker playing for the other team or anything of that nature.
And he wore little... It actually makes me cry thinking, it makes me well up with him, is when he had little wellies.
I did, yeah. And I wore blue swimming trunks over the top of jeans.
Oh. Nice.
But also, if the kids would say stuff like, that's a good goal you got yesterday, and I said, what do you mean? I wasn't in the park yesterday. Still desperately trying to retain my secret identity.
Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
Kat Otahanan has sent in... Well, Kat is a big fan of T-shirts with random English phrases. There's one... Kat actually collects them.
Oh.
Has one from Thailand saying, broken shed for you.
Nice.
I like it.
I like that one.
Don't worry, I've said it aloud at least 12 times to make sure I wasn't inadvertently saying something.
It wasn't a prank.
Exactly. Sorry, I just want to know a little bit more, because we're in the sort of sartorial area, which we have been a lot this morning, having discussed Lord John Somerset, Frank's, what is it? Wildcats.
Yes.
Oh, yes, my Saigon.
Your US military night off.
Your Good Morning Vietnam shirt.
Yeah, exactly. My Saigon Sin Avengers.
Yes.
Clawing back the enemy.
I'm calling it his GI party wear.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we don't know if that's true. Have we put that photo up that I sent you, Sarah?
Yes. We've already had a response, yes.
Okay.
Someone thought it said pickled wildcats. It doesn't. What does it actually say?
No, I never eat pickled wildcats out of season.
Well, as Pablo said, by name alone, if any creature from the animal kingdom could benefit from sobriety, it's the wildcat.
Pleiku, I don't know if you say it like that, but it is a city in Vietnam.
Oh, okay, fine. Okay. We are having people as well sending in suggestions for, because you were talking about the Batman outfit and your outfit. But we've had Jane says, of course you can wear shorts, Frank. As long as they're the thicker cotton, longer type. I know what she means. Let's not go the full
I'm not
Keegan.
going to wear an Argentina 1978 World Cup short. I mean, for goodness sake.
Imagine if you did.
That's not feasible at my age.
I was saying off air, why don't you... be honest, is it your legs you're
Well, I used to be... I think of myself on stage in a suit and tie, but not when it's 40 degrees.
But are you concerned about your legs? They're lovely legs.
I just think people don't want to see old people too exposed.
Well, why don't you put a flesh-coloured tight?
Yeah.
Well...
Have you considered hose?
That would cool me down. But I'm...
well done, Frank. Well done.
Yeah, I did.
Beautiful.
I thought... Yeah, I had several choices there.
Can I say respect?
I took less funny but more respectable.
Yes.
Respect, Frank.
And that is what breakfast radio is all about. Any young amateurs out there trying to get into breakfast radio, I would take that moment as how it's done.
Discretion, the better part of valor.
Exactly. And the sacrificial lamb.
That was your Jedi test. It was a huge moment for you.
It was. For a man of my background, I mean, it was it was a mountain to climb, but I found a pass.
Yeah. 30 years of dirt.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
What a great name for a show. Oh, I've already used it.
Sorry, I want to know, can we just hear the ending to what happened to Batman?
Yes.
Well, I will. The thing that impressed me the most was that obviously when Batman arrived, it's fair to say the kids went ape.
So the Batman was a children's entertainer. He wasn't just a dad who was trying too hard.
No, he'd been recruited at a different child's birthday where I believe he'd been playing a different hero.
Oh, okay.
So he's got range, this guy.
Playing a different hero? Who else was he? He's got in his repertoire.
Well, there's a lot to choose
America's
from. Captain America.
He's covering Marvel and DC in case they have a preference.
Oh, yeah.
He's a franchise hopper.
Yeah.
This guy.
He's a bit limited. Does he do King Lear? Does he do anyone else?
He probably dreamt he would do King Lear.
Yes. I did hear him in his suit muttering about how he'll never play the Dane.
Oh, yeah.
But Batman showed up and the kids went ape. And the kid I was most impressed with was the boy who immediately, his first instinct was to immediately attempt to fight Batman. Just attacked him.
And did Batman say how sharper than a serpent's tooth it is to have a thankless child?
Was it Prince Louis?
Bit of his King Lear.
Well, my sister made sort of throat-cutting gestures. We said no Shakespeare.
Okay.
Cut that out. No, this kid immediately went for Batman, and I felt like when you hear about in documentaries, trainers saw like a young Muhammad Ali, and they saw within these young boxers the rage that you need to be a great fighter.
I think
it's any 4-year-old who tries to take out Batman on sight.
I always felt, that Batman, when he finally dies, it won't be the Joker or the Penguin. It'll be some chancer at a kid's party.
This is Frank Skinner. This is
Absolute Radio.
Michael Stone, where does Frank get his belt from? I used to have one like that from CNA.
Okay.
It was great.
Yes, it's...
I'd love to find another like
Mike Stone must die. That was what Elvis ran around shouting when his good lady wife left him for her karate instructor.
What did he actually say that? Did he shout?
Mike Stone must die. He walked around Graceland shouting that. Then he asked a couple of his associates if they knew how to hire a hitman.
Oh, God.
And they, this was Memphis where you probably could hire a hitman, and they were saying, no, Elvis, you need to. But Mike Stone must die. He was very angry about it.
Do you think he was wearing the cape when he said that?
I hope so.
Swishing it about.
This belt is one of those where if you can twiddle the buckle and it's a brown belt or a black belt. Which I don't know if that was true of Mike Stone. I think he just he twiddled the belt a bit too often. If you ask my opinion, Elvis? Mike Stone was dead. I know, mate. Tell me about it.
Do you think if you'd have been in Elvis's, as you call them, circle of associates,
yes,
what role would you have played in that
I'd
circle?
like to think I would be like the sort of Joker, but I think that was taken by Lamar Fike. Who was a big laugh-along guy who was prepared to be utterly humiliated by Elvis, by the others. I think being prepared to be utterly humiliated by Elvis was part of the deal.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could, as much as I love Elvis, I don't know if I could cope with that.
Do you feel like you would have had the strength to be tough but fair when it came to Elvis?
I think I might have just walked.
Yeah.
Frank Skinner must die.
Obviously, I'd have took a few shirts and jewellery things with me.
Done right for yourself.
Rhinestone
now
capes.
listen, we need to refer. I'd just like to dip back in to our previously. We call this our previously section, which is someone has been in touch about Flying Ant Day. We always mention Flying Ant Day.
It does. Did I miss? Has it happened, Flying Ant Day?
Well, Bruce and Linda have been in touch. They've actually sent photographic evidence.
Oh.
Bruce Goodwin, this is from. Hi, Mr. Skinner and Co. Last year, I seem to remember you talking about Flying Ant Day.
Oh,
Let's
every
put that in bold.
Every year.
We are sat in our garden, a cross between a yard and a garden,
Nice. Yeah.
on the evening of 7th July. Oh, I'm loving this. When this fella walked in, and there's a photograph enclosed, it's absolutely disgusting.
Right.
I've never seen wings like this in my entire life.
Oh, dear.
My first thought was, have we got to Flying Ant Day already this year? I must tell Frank. Bruce, that's from Bruce and Linda. They've enclosed a photo. We've had several other people get in touch about flying ants. The Flying Ants Day, some are saying, occurred on the same day as the Prime Minister's resignation.
Oh, really?
Yes.
There's got to be some sort of... If this was ancient Rome, they'd be seeing something in that, wouldn't they?
As Charles says, what other visitations has he planned?
Is it Flying Ant who's got the big green egg, or is it Flying
that's
Deck?
Deck's got the green egg.
Okay.
I saw it on a WhatsApp group.
All ants on deck, as they say.
Lovely. Well, Frank, you haven't answered the question. What other visitations has he got planned?
Boris
Boris
Johnson.
Johnson.
Yeah, I think silverfish will be next. when you put the lights on, when you get up in the night, you'll see. You heard it here first. Thanks for listening to us, Pierre. It's always great to have you on.
Thank you.
Obviously, it's great to have you on, Emily. But you're part of the furniture. So, if the good Lord spares us and the creeks don't rise, we'll be back again this time next week. Now get out.
This is Frank Skinner. This is
Absolute Radio.